Hi, everyone. Hope everything's going well. So this week we're starting with Module 2, and we'll also begin some work toward our first short essay. So if you, of course, have not started going through the Module 2 materials, you'll want to get started with that. First, we have a presentation on applying English studies by my colleague, Dr. C. And again, my thanks to Dr. C for letting us use her presentation. And so then we have my short mini lecture notes on close reading that I'd like you to consider. So, of course, close reading really is very important to English studies and a very important skill you gain from English studies courses, which many of you might have already practiced before, such as if you've taken some literature classes before. But close reading is also very important and applicable for professional settings as well. So as you read through my mini lecture, consider how close reading might be used in your own professional career. And finally, we have a short definition presentation, also by Dr. C, which helps define multimodal literacy. Now, of course, this will be important as we read Wysocki's article for this week and consider how concepts on multimodality can be applicable in professional settings. So the page for the definition presentation on Canvas won't let me put it on the Canvas calendar to-do list for some reason. So just make sure you click through the modules tab and find it there, and click next on the mini lecture page, and it'll take you to that definition presentation. So the first assignment, though, due this week is the job interview question discussion. And although you are not creating resumes and cover letters for this class, although you would do something like that for workplace writing or technical writing classes, which are great courses, I am asking you in this class to think about how you can best articulate the values of English studies skills to a potential employer. So the prompt for this week asks you to imagine that you are in an interview with a skeptical interviewer. And so you are to create a video as though you are speaking directly to the interviewer. So you don't want to begin your video with, well, I would say this, or I would tell the interviewer that. Instead, talk to the camera as though you're talking to the interviewer, like in a video interview. So then, of course, once you respond to that in your video post, make sure you respond to at least two of your classmates. But in this case, try to put yourself in the position of the interviewer responding to their answer to you. So putting yourself in a slightly different position. So this video discussion is really to help you practice a skill that you'll later need in our course, of course, through our and through your professional career. So your multimodal presentation at the end of the semester, of course, requires you to be doing a video presentation of your work. So if you're not comfortable recording yourself, this will give you a little bit of practice on a lower stakes assignment. And of course, also be mindful of your surroundings, your audio levels, and of course, you might need to do a couple of practice videos, check your equipment first, just to make sure everything goes well. Although I think that it should probably already have been clear before the pandemic that a lot of professional work goes on remotely and also through video connections. The impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on the workplace is also especially clear. You should expect to engage with others in your career through video conferencing. So becoming confident in doing that during college will be very helpful for you professionally. And of course, you also may be doing interviews by video as well. So then later on Thursday this week, we'll have a couple of materials for you to read through on multimodal literacies. Now, first, there's a short website on what is multimodal literacy. And then we have an important article by Ann Wysocki titled The Multiple Media of Texts. Now, this article is a little bit on the longer side, so do give yourself a little bit of extra time to work through it, but it does address some very important concepts on the uses of multiple modes, and also has frequent illustrations of its points with some visuals, so that's always nice. So one important thing that we will be considering in your first class essay at the end of Module 2 is how we might use multiple modes in professional settings to address a complex problem, and in particular, your complex problem. So you might keep this in mind as you're going through those materials. So then we have a discussion activity on Thursday, which focuses particularly on applying the ideas from Wysocki's article. So then this week you are also going to be beginning a little bit of work toward the Module 2 short essay, in which you'll be applying our class concepts on multimodality to your chosen complex problem, analyzing how multiple modes can be used to address that problem. So for Thursday, you'll also need to read through the essay instructions to make sure that you have a good understanding of what is required of that. You can find those on Canvas. And then, of course, you'll also be submitting your short essay document selections. And now these documents will be the examples that you will be using in your essay as you're showing the applications of multiple modes relating to your complex problem. But of course, take a look at the instructions on Canvas for more details. Make sure you understand that. But do let me know if you have any questions about the essay requirements or anything else. And similarly, if you have any difficulties, any questions that where best that you can always check with me by email. But also, I do hold in-person office hours at the Middletown campus. Those are on Mondays and Wednesdays from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. But I'm also available for video meetings, not only during that time frame, but also at other times as well, if some other days or times might work best for you. So I just want to make sure I reminded you of that. I'll leave it at that for now. But as I said, let me know if you have any difficulties.